I've just always wanted to be in front of the camera. I've always wanted to entertain, whether it's, performing music, acting, hosting, whatever it may be. I just wanted to always be in front of the camera and in front of an audience. And you know what? Comes to find out, I'm really good at it.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Adeptus On-Air. I am again your host, Mike Hoffman, and today I am joined by Keldamuzik. How are you today?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, thanks so much for coming on. Keldamuzik is a multi-talented entertainer, entrepreneur, and media personality. Known for her dynamic presence in music, film, and business, she successfully built a multifaceted career as a recording artist, an actress, and as a producer. Beyond entertainment, Keldamuzik uses her platform to inspire others, advocating for creativity, empowerment, and entrepreneurship. Her work reflects a unique blend of artistry and business savvy, making her a force in the industry. Ooh, that sounds pretty good.
Watch out.
Yeah, very good. It's always good to be a force in something, right?
Exactly. I love it.
So you are multifaceted and so forth. Kind of walk us through the process, from growing up to where we are today.
Yeah, definitely. So I was born and raised in San Jose, California, not too far from San Francisco. And, my mom was just one of those mothers that, she tried to, enter the entertainment business when she was younger, but, things didn't really work out. So
Mhm.
guess what? I'm the next best thing. So it just came down to a point where, she started not only sending me to acting schools, but I ended up having a talent agent in San Francisco and then one in Sacramento. And I was going on auditions, for all these kid commercials. And it also came down to a point where I was being pulled out of school to go on auditions. And, it was a great experience for me because I am one of those kids who, I have a lot of ambition and I have a lot of energy.
Mhm.
And, she made the right choice by doing that with me. And, from there and on, I've just always wanted to be in front of the camera. I've always wanted to entertain, whether it's, performing music, acting, hosting, whatever it may be. I just wanted to always be in front of the camera and in front of an audience. And you know what? Comes to find out, I'm really good at it. So,
That's a plus. So
yes.
think back. What was your first paid gig as a kid? Do you remember?
Yes. I was an extra in a cereal commercial. I think it was either Kellogg's or at the time Lucky Charms. I was
Mhm.
an extra, and that was the only gig that was booked. Uh,
There you go.
yeah.
Lucky
um,
Charms. They're magically delicious. See, I
They're
even know the
magically
line.
delicious. Yes, one of my favorite cereals. Yeah, it was a great experience. It was also a challenge because, being, a young black kid in San Jose and just really trying to make it into the industry, it was really difficult,
Yeah.
and my mom, I don't think she really took the proper steps to nurture my career as a child actor.
Mhm.
It was kind of just like, here, agent Lee said, read this script before Saturday, before your audition, because apparently we got to go to Santa Cruz for an audition for, a Nike commercial or whatever. And I'm just like, okay, like you're not gonna actually study with me.
Right.
So because her and my dad were always busy working, but
Sure.
it was a learning experience, and it wasn't until I got older is when I really started doing this professionally and
Yeah.
getting paid and really just becoming successful and accomplishing all of my dreams.
Yeah. So you had the bit things as a kid, but you really didn't get your big break as a kid. Obviously, you went on
Yeah.
the auditions and talking to a lot of people in the industry. Obviously, you're unsuccessful in more auditions than you are successful. That's pretty standard across the occupation. What was in your mind your first big break?
My first big break, I would say, when I was 21 and I relocated to the city of Oakland and I recorded my first album. It was a professionally done well produced radio friendly album.
Hmm.
And when I say that, I mean, when I say radio friendly, I mean, the radio stations actually picked it up and would play the music because it was just appealing to their audience. And excuse me, from there, I was getting booked on shows, and next thing you know, being an independent artist, you kind of have to wear many hats, right? Because you're doing your own marketing, you're doing your own PR, you're doing your
Hmm.
own accounting, you're doing your own business management, everything across the board. So I started dabbling a lot into licensing and media
Yeah.
placement. And one of my songs actually got placed on a film called Please Give, starring Amanda Peet. It was a Sony production, and it was amazing because my business partner and I, we saw the premiere of it at the IMAX theater in San Francisco when they did have the theater.
Hmm.
And I remember we didn't really care too much about the film, but we were just, we were waiting just to see when the song would pop up. And then afterwards, we were waiting while everyone
Hmm.
walked out and left. We were waiting to see the credits scroll down so we
Yeah.
could capture a picture of it. And sure enough, it said Keldamuzik, and then it had my song, and then who the licensing company was. And right there, I felt like not only was it, a taste of success, but like I'm touching the TV, I'm
Yeah.
touching Hollywood, and I'm contributing to
Yeah.
Hollywood.
You're now a part of it. You're not on the outside looking in. You are a bona fide part of it.
Exactly. Yes. Yes.
I've always been
Definitely.
a fan of Amanda Peet. That's funny. I not heard of that movie, but I like her work.
Yeah, yeah, and she's a beautiful, beautiful lady, and
Yeah.
in that movie, she was pretty hot too. But aside from that, she was a really great actress.
Yeah.
So,
That's great. Okay,
yeah.
so that first album you came out with, how would you kind of describe your music? Like what kind of genre, or is it a combination of a few?
Yeah, so it's the first album, it's all hip hop, but what separates me from other artists is the clarity. When I rap, people are just like, how do you enunciate each and every word so
Yeah.
perfectly? And the song still sounds good. It doesn't sound like you're trying to not pronunciate, or it doesn't sound like you're trying to pronunciate, you just naturally are.
Yeah.
And my style of writing, I always put myself in someone else's shoes, to where my music is made for everyone. It's not just
Mhm.
made for one group of audience, it's made for everyone. And again, it's just all radio friendly. And, got a couple of little songs that are off the wall, you know what I mean, but
Yeah, sure. Most people do.
right. But
Now, are you an ad
overall,
libber? I mean, obviously, I know a lot of rappers are the ones where I can say to you, okay, give me a rap right now about whatever.
mm,
Are you pretty
mm,
good at coming up on the fly, or you?
No, that, like, yeah, I can't do that. I'm more of a writer.
Hmm?
Um, just because I used to write a lot. I used to be I used to write poetry.
Okay.
I
Well,
used to
music is
ace.
poetry in my mind.
Exactly. Right.
Yeah,
Music is art, it's poetry.
yeah.
And I used to ace all my English classes. I would always love telling stories.
Hmm.
And then to apply, to be able to apply it to music really brings a different, it sheds a different light on it. Just tell you a little scenario really quickly. I went to University of San Francisco,
Hmm.
and English class, I forgot what the topic was, but we were supposed to write an essay on something, and I came in there writing just this, generic story or whatever that was
Yeah,
like unbelievable, and yeah, I thought that's what the professor wanted, and she was like, this is fine, but there's nothing creative about it. Be a writer, bring
yeah.
out the artist in you. So I made up a story, and it was about me being a kid playing with a caterpillar that I would see every day in my garage. And one day I didn't see that caterpillar because I accidentally stepped on him.
Huh.
And from there, our relationship was broken, and I felt broken. And it
Mhm.
was just this corny little story. But anyway, I got an A on it, and she was like, "That's what I'm talking
That's what I'm
about.
talking about. Yeah,
Being an artist, being artistic,
yeah,
seeing the creative value in writing." And
yeah.
so, fast forward, that's exactly what I do in my music. And that's what all artists should do in their music.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because looking at me, I'm sure you can tell I'm not the biggest rap fan in the world. But when you think of a lot of music, yeah, music is storytelling. But in my mind, again, not having a lot of experience in rap, you don't
Mhm.
necessarily think of rapping so much as storytelling as much as it being more
Mhm.
just entertainment, whatever it is, the rhyming and the rhythms and
Mhm.
the artistry of the performance, not necessarily the message and the words.
Right, right,
So
exactly.
you're giving me a whole new perspective on it when I think about it that way.
Yeah, definitely. And sometimes you got to mind some of the trash that's out there, right?
Yeah.
Because that is for entertainment. But when you listen to the real artists, or you go to some underground shows, and
Mhm.
when you sit there and you really hear and listen what they're saying, you not only relate to it, but you appreciate it because that person put some thought into
Yeah.
writing that song. So just like a poet, just like a writer for a film or a TV show or a commercial, when we watch the Super Bowl, we're like, how did they come up with these ridiculous commercials? Some of them stick and some of them don't. But the ones
Correct.
that do stick, you're just like, aha, that's the way how you market soap. That's the way how you get somebody
Yeah.
to buy a car. You know what I mean?
Well,
So,
yeah, I could go back, and I'm older than you. I can go back to my childhood, and I can still sing several taglines for products. So those products might not even be around anymore, but
exactly.
that 3-word jingle or that 10-word jingle is still forever up there.
Yeah, definitely. And again, that's art. That's
Yeah.
art.
Yeah, well, but it's fascinating what you say because there's one thing to be art, but you're so much more than that right now because, like you said, you're the artist, you're your own accountant, you're your own business manager, you're your own
Mhm,
marketer, and so forth. And a lot of people rely on others to do that, and there's value in that as well, other perspectives and so forth. But for
mhm.
you to kind of control basically all aspects of yourself, you could totally steer things the way you want it to go.
Exactly, and that's the joy of being independent. You know what I mean? A lot of artists are still wishing and hoping that they're going to sign a record deal, but that doesn't necessarily happen anymore. Artists don't get discovered and signed by major labels anymore. You have to build your own fan base, build your own foundation, wear all these hats. To the point where you do attract,
Mhm.
a major label or a brand, and it's more like a partnership.
Yeah.
And it has to be a mutual understanding as to why we should
Yeah.
partner,
Is that because
opposed
of
to.
social media?
Mhm.
I mean, has social media like totally changed the industry from that perspective? Because if you go back to pre-social media, what avenues, let's just say you were 20 years older,
Mhm.
and you're trying to do the same thing, what avenues would you have had then to market yourself as opposed to just trying to get signed by a label? So to me,
Right.
now with YouTube and people having their own channels, or whether it's
Mhm.
TikTok and so forth like that, is that causing the industry to say, hey, I don't need to go find people. I'm just going to go online and I'm going to find people through social media?
Yeah, well, really, it's the channels that find you, right? Because now everything's all about niche marketing. So, say if you're on social media right now, or even on Google, Yahoo, and you're just looking up, I don't know, you're looking up furniture, automatically you'll jump on another platform and you'll
Yes.
see ads that are based on furniture ads.
Mhm.
So that's how it is with music now. We're able to not only build and grow our channel, but
Mhm.
it's automatically attracting and spreading onto other people's platforms when we don't even ask for it. You know what I mean? And I don't know, this weird conspiracy people are even saying that iPhones are picking up what people are talking about, and
You
next thing
know,
you know.
I literally had this conversation last week with someone, and I know what you're saying. If I Google something, yes, my Facebook feed is going to have an ad for
Mhm.
something very similar. But
Yeah,
I swear, and obviously I think I'm wrong, but in my mind, I feel like I have a conversation with you about
yeah,
something, and I'm going to go on my phone later.
yeah,
And if we're talking about Clorox wipes, I don't
right.
know why that just came to my mind. I'm going to see an ad for Clorox wipes. I almost feel like I have like a chip in my brain right now, and what my
Yeah,
brain is thinking is somehow ending up on all of my social media feeds. It's kind of
yeah.
scary.
It is scary. It is scary. And really that's like it's kind of like our reality right now because technology is going to continue to evolve, and
Yeah.
when it does that, the music will go with it. So you could be listening to a song right now in your office, you know what I mean, and now, okay, this song, the advertisement of this song or artist similar to that artist is going to
Yeah.
pop up on your newsfeed. So that is right there is the driving vehicle of what makes an artist more attractive to
Mhm.
bigger brands and executives, because it's like, okay, you're coming to me, I don't have to come to you. And that makes it easier because I know that you are filling all the holes in your marketing to get to people like me.
Yeah.
Whereas before, yeah, you have to sing on the corner, go to talent shows,
Yeah.
whatever,
Mhm.
and try to get noticed. A&Rs have to go to talent shows to look for artists. No, we're coming to them, but we're
Yeah.
coming to them organically.
It's crazy. So it seems like now you're putting a lot of attention on music. So
Mhm.
the other aspects of your career, whether it's producing,
Mhm.
acting and so forth, how is that going?
It's going great. As a matter of fact, I just came back from a media meet and greet for the city of Sacramento. They're celebrating Mardi Gras, and today is the first day they were celebrating it, and then March 5th is the last day. But anyway, it was a lot of interviews that I was doing with local ABC News as
Mhm.
well as NBC, and because of doing activities like that in the past as well is what led me to doing my talk show, which is on Tubi. It's called Diva Talk Tonight. It's where I interview a variety of guests in the entertainment industry. Before Diva Talk actually became specifically entertaining,
Mhm.
and just an entertainment show, I was actually interviewing a whole bunch of other people, like scientists, magicians,
But when you want to have your
gosh.
next accountant slash podcaster on, I am free.
Yes, I got it. I got it. I read the website. So
There you
yes.
go. I'm ready. I'm ready to go on the show.
Yeah. So yeah, hosting and acting have really opened up doors for me. I'm in a TV show called The Hodges with comedian Mario Hodge. Right now we're just in the we finished one season, so now we're just in the shopping phases,
Mhm.
looking for the right platform. And I'm
What is the
also
show
working
about?
on. Hmm?
What is the show about?
Yeah, so the show's based on the comedian Mario Hodge, this guy. He's about to be huge, right? He's like on Kevin Hart's podcast on a
Okay.
weekly
What is
basis.
his name? You said. I'm sorry.
Mario Hodge.
Mhm.
Yep. And yeah, he's on tour like every month. And so the show's based on him being a comedian, trying to face the struggles and challenges. And then I'm his rich wife. No one knows what I do, but we live in this gigantic house. We have two kids that go to a private school, and they're like little techie kids,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I'm the one supporting everyone. I'm supporting his career, and we're just watching him throughout the series. It's a comedy show.
Yeah. It
It's
sounds
just a
like it has a lot of comedy elements. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, it's pretty funny. So yeah, and you guys could actually catch there's a few trailers that we released on my website keldamuzik.com, and you could also look it up on YouTube. Just type in Hodges.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
that's
exciting.
another project that I've done, and just doors keep opening.
Yeah, but hey, that's good. The more doors that open, we just need one to like stay open, and like hopefully, you find a platform that's good for you, it becomes successful. You're able to do season two or season three,
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
you never know what happens from there.
Yep, exactly.
So talk to me about. I know you're a big advocate for certain things. So kind of talk to me about some of your causes.
Yeah, so mental health. I actually started the Diva Outreach, which is a nonprofit, and it's to cater to young women who face issues with mental illness. And I don't have mental illness. I do have a little bit of anxiety, and I receive treatment for it. But I want to help those who are younger than me and that are females that go through anxiety, especially um, while developing, growing, and trying to accomplish their goals in life. mental illness is real, and
Mhm.
unfortunately, before our eyes, we're seeing all these people who are committing suicide or who are just damaging themselves, and
Mhm.
that's because they either don't get help, refuse to get help, or the help is not helping. Um, and for me, it's just like it's a very important cause.
Yeah.
Um, my next cause that I'm going to go into is animal cruelty. I want to be able to invest in a shelter and save all the animals out there that are, homeless or,
Mhm.
that are
That's
being
nice.
abused, and be able to provide for them. I want to have like a farm of cats.
So you want to be a cat lady?
I want to be a cat lady.
One of those
Yes.
crazy cat ladies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I could be definitely a crazy cat lady.
I see that. You give off crazy cat lady vibes. No. So do you have any pets now?
No, but I do watch my mom's dog every now and then. He's a Maltese, and he's a headache, but you know what? It's just like he's just so freaking cute. You can't get
Yeah.
mad at him. He'll crap on the carpet, pee everywhere, and then look at you with his tail between his legs and like,
And you're like, oh, good boy, way to pee on the carpet, good boy.
right,
Yeah,
don't do it again,
yeah,
but
exactly.
I
Going
just
back
think
to
I'm
the
too
mental
busy to
health
have
thing,
a
because
pet.
I always find it fascinating. I think it's a great thing you do. You know,
Hmm.
my opinion on I think why so many people struggle with mental health is
Hmm.
because I think unfortunately there's a stigma out there
Yeah. Hmm.
where a mental illness is opposed to a physical illness, where a lot of people aren't embarrassed to say my leg hurts
Right.
or I have a broken bone. People are embarrassed to say I'm depressed or I have anxiety. And I think a lot of people are less inclined to seek help because they feel like they're going to be judged or treated differently because it
Yeah.
isn't something tangible. And I think a lot of people view a mental illness as a sign of weakness, which I don't agree with at all. And I think
Hmm.
if that stigma can be lifted, I think a lot of more people, as you said, some people sure the help isn't working, but I think, in my opinion, it's more of what you said first, where people aren't seeking the help. And I really
Right.
think it's out of embarrassment, not justified embarrassment, but the
Yeah.
feeling that it's you're weaker because that's kind of I think what society's built in all of our heads that mental illness is a sign of weakness and frailty.
Right. Yes, exactly. And it's funny that you mentioned that because I know a couple of people who finally, went to go see a therapist, a
Mhm.
psychiatrist, and they felt really embarrassed about
But
talking about
mhm,
their life when this is the time, this is the platform for you to do so, so that you can get the help that you need. But you're right. There's a negative narrative put out there that it's a sign of weakness by saying you're depressed or
right,
you're sad, and really
mhm,
it's okay. We're only human, right? If one
mhm,
person does not get depressed in their life or cry at least once in your life, then something is wrong.
right,
You know
right.
what I mean?
Yeah, no, you're right.
um
I mean, but again, I think that's something that hopefully over time, you know,
mhm,
evolves. And I also think that the stigma of we all display to everyone, most people, all the good in our lives
mhm.
and not the bad. Whether it's on a Instagram feed or a story. So if you see the good in everyone, it's important to realize that they're only posting those snapshots of when things are good. They're not posting the
Right.
snapshots of when things are bad. Just like in my life or your life or this person's life, you have
Mhm,
those snapshot moments that are good, and you
mhm.
have those moments that are not so good when your dog is crapping on your carpet and you're cursing at a four-legged
Sure.
animal. Those aren't one of your
Right.
highlight items that you're going to post. But you are going to
Exactly.
post when you're doing a press interview because that's cool and that shows you're happy and you're smiling and
Mhm.
you're alive, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Be human.
Yeah,
And that's what we're here for, right? We're all here to be human. We're all here to show our emotions. We're all here to share our feelings with one another, and that's what you have to do to really build up your confidence, your self-esteem, and to reduce the anxiety and the depression, right? It's all about being vocal and
yeah,
sharing how you feel. If you leave that bottled up inside, it's gonna eventually kill you, right?
yeah,
So, yeah, I believe it's a serious cause that people need to take
yeah.
more
No doubt.
seriously. And uh, I just want to say, gosh, what's her name? Aubrey Plaza. I think Aubrey
Yeah,
Plaza,
her fiance.
her fiance. That right before the Golden Globes.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
ouch. And
I wasn't
It's
familiar with him. I've obviously heard of her, but yeah,
right. Same
it
here.
sounds like it came out of nowhere, at
Yeah,
least
it did.
to the outsider, anyway.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly. We don't really know, what he's gone through or what they've gone through, but
Yeah,
when you heard about that, it's like, oh my gosh. The first thing when when someone dies, you're like, okay, how did they pass? And then when you hear suicide, it's like, oh God, like were
yeah.
they getting help? Were they off their meds? You know what I mean? Did they overdose?
And from our mind, the typical person like myself, you think, wow, what? They have the dream life, the beautiful fiance, they're in
Mhm.
Hollywood, they're going to these cool events. I mean, what could they possibly be? But
Yeah,
again, everyone has problems, and some people they get to that point where they just don't feel like they can handle the problems anymore, unfortunately.
yeah, exactly, exactly. And hey, you know, uh, the world could only give someone so much support until
Yeah,
that person just says, I'm done, I'm out,
I'm done. Yeah,
you
I'm
know?
ready. I'm ready to shut down. So,
Right.
in your storytelling, is a lot of it dealing with some of these issues? Meaning, is it talking about what I'll call self worth and feeling good about yourself and self confidence, or are they random things like my best friend the caterpillar, kind of thing, as you mentioned earlier?
Yeah, no, it's everything does stem from personal experience,
Mhm.
and as a matter of fact, I released a project last year called the Diva Workout, and that was actually an EDM project that I made. It was 3 songs, and I did a music video for it, and I wasn't in the music video. I just had a bunch of models in the music video, but bottom line, the album is catered to the fitness community,
Mhm.
and it's to encourage, women to stay in the gym, work out, break out a sweat if you can, get your heart pumping. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And the only way people know how to do that is when they're listening to some fast up tempo music, right?
Yeah,
It just
you're right.
it encourages you. So that's what the Diva workout is about. And the first single on there that we did the music video for is called Get Loose. And again, it's electronic dance music, and it'll just keep you going and going. And a lot of a lot of women, and even a couple people within the community, like they love the fact that I created that, and I'm still working on that campaign too, by the way. Because health and fitness and wellness, all that stuff will never go away. It's always something that we need to always further discuss, address,
Mhm.
and need to work on and encourage others to do so as well.
Yeah, yeah, no doubt. So now we're doing all these things, a lot of things going on. Talk to me about the next 3 to 5 years of your life. Like, how would you like to see this journey continue? Obviously, you talk about the sitcom. You'd love to see that kind of get some legs,
Yep.
find a home and so forth. But what else are you thinking? How you'd like to see things go?
Yeah, I definitely want to tour longer overseas, performing music. And also, too, I want my beret line to
I was
continue
going to
to
ask you about that
expand.
next. Go ahead, talk about that.
Yeah. So yes, I came up with a beret line called Tamz. It happened during the pandemic. It was during that time where, hey, we all have these undiscovered talents and
Mhm.
ideas that we want to put forward, but haven't had the time. But hey, we're locked on lockdown right now.
Yeah,
Now is
yeah.
the time. So, from pop culture to hip hop to the black community, I haven't seen anyone brand a beret. And if they did have a beret, they haven't branded it for women. So I came up with Tams, and I have 10 different colors. Because of this, I've been hosting fashion shows,
Mhm.
and I've been expanding my network in the fashion community now to where I'm getting invited to have my models walk in
Yeah,
other fashion shows wearing Tams. I'm hosting it. I'm performing there. I'm having people vend the Tams berets, and even a nonprofit organization. It's an alopecia organization called Boldly Me. A year ago, I donated a
nice.
couple berets to their nonprofit for hair loss,
Yeah.
and in exchange, they invited me to come down and speak at their fundraiser and
Wow.
talk about how I came up with TAMS and how with TAMS I want to support hair loss
Yeah.
organizations.
Yeah.
So, and I plan to do more of that as well. And I donated another set of berets to a Canadian alopecia organization. So that's something that I want to continue to do.
Nice.
And I want Tamz to just take off to where I could release other products under it, but products that are not common, but that may be necessary or may be in demand for people, for whoever. But that's
Does the
still
name
just
Tamz have any significance?
well, Tam's it's for me, my personal story is, I've always had issues with my hair. I just never knew really how to take care of my hair. And so I
Okay.
always wished like I had something to cover it up, just walk out the door, put something on, and then boom. And so
Yeah, me too. I've had a lot of problems with this. Yeah.
yeah. So
Yeah.
Tam's just came to mind for that reason too. Hey, for girls who if you're in a hurry late for work, got to be somewhere, or you just want to run out quickly, go get the mail, something,
Yeah.
walk your dog, hey, you don't have to get all fancy and dolled up, just put on a Tams.
Nice. Makes a lot of
Yeah,
sense.
yeah,
Yeah, it's yeah, this is natural, just in case you're wondering. So what you're
yeah.
looking at,
Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
this is all my own baldness. Yeah, so I actually made the decision about 2 months ago. There was a little bit up top, and when I got my last trim, I'm like, you know what? It's time just to shave it clean. And
It's
yeah, and
over.
of course I did that. And it's been like 20 degrees here, freezing. So for the first time in my life, when I walk the dog and stuff, I'm actually putting on a hat because a bald head makes you colder a lot quicker.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and especially where you live, if it's
Yeah,
raining and
and
snowing,
I
and yeah.
listen. I don't want to comment on your music, but I think that would be a great verse in one of your next songs.
Hmm.
A bald head makes you colder a lot quicker. I think if you could put that into one of your songs, I think you're talking a hit.
You know what? You might just be right.
Yeah,
And then have a video with everyone wearing, no, have you in the video wearing a beret.
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I didn't want to take it that far, but since you asked, yes, I would be in the video and wear one of your Tamz Berets.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
I can work it, no doubt. I can
you
make
can
it. I
work
can make
it.
it work. Yeah,
Work it.
no doubt. So you mentioned it before, I think briefly, but mention how people can find you on. I know you're on a bunch of different platforms, so kind of walk us through those.
Yeah. So I always tell people just visit my website, keldamuzik.com, KELDAMUZIK.com. All my socials are there, music videos, songs, the link to my talk show, TAMS, the Diva Outreach, everything that you want to know about me is on keldamuzik.com.
Awesome, perfect place to stop. So listen, I appreciate the time. It's a fascinating life you live, and it's I find it commendable because obviously you're still developing your career and you have a lot of exciting things going on. You're still making time for these other worthy causes that, while they might not have necessarily monetary benefit to you, they definitely have intrinsic value. And obviously those you can't put a price tag on. So I think it's great that you're putting in as much effort in those causes as you are in your professional journey. So
Well,
I,
thank
uh,
you so much.
I commend you for that. And I thank you for your time.
All right. Thank you. See you
Thanks for
guys
listening,
later.
everybody.
Thanks for listening to Adeptus On-Air. If you like this episode, please subscribe and leave a review. The views and opinions by the podcast speakers and guests are solely their own and do not reflect the opinions of Adeptus. This podcast provides general information only and is not intended to constitute advice.